Now, when I shadow box, I am not practicing for a fight. Obviously, I've never had any I've never even taken a boxing class, so all I've seen are a few YouTube videos on how to shadow box, and even those aren't, I don't put a lot of the things that they say into practice, because I'm more focused on just the cardio aspect of it. But there are a few key things that I think you should keep in mind if you want to do shadow boxing. So, number one is to learn how to punch. If you're in the stance to get ready to punch, and you don't want to fully extend your arm. So I'm going to show you here. You don't want to lock out your elbow, because if you do, that'll jerk your arm. You want to leave it so it's slightly bent. So I don't know if you can see that there, but it's really hard to see, but you want to leave it so it's slightly bent, because if it is locked out, if you hit something and it's locked out, it's just all that force is gonna compress in. Whereas if you hit something and it's slightly bent, you still have a little bit of leeway so that your arm can, flex backwards. It's just a way to keep you safe, and plus it doesn't hurt. It does hurt when you throw a punch fully and it's locked out. Like I didn't even do it there, because I don't want to hurt myself. But it does hurt slightly when you throw a punch like that. Another tip when shadow boxing is you always want to keep your arms up, like you're in a defense position, obviously, because you always want to be prepared to block either way, and this way you can just really get a really nice quick jab out. It's just a really good practice to keep your hands up, especially if you do want to eventually fight, because like I said, the blocking is very important for that. And while you're doing this, you're also going to want to duck sometimes, dodge out of the way, use your arms as a shield to protect yourself there, just to give yourself some more variation in the movements that you're doing, instead of just standing there and then punching, jab, jab, punch. You don't want to just limit yourself. You want to use your full body when you're boxing, because you might not think about it, but when you're boxing, you're only allowed to throw punches, but your whole body has to be in motion, which leads me into my third point, is that you always want to keep your feet moving. If your feet aren't moving at the whole time, then you're limiting yourself, and your stance is not going to be as powerful as it could be otherwise. Plus, in terms of just cardio, it gets your heart rate elevated instead of because of course standing still and doing horse stance punches can be really beneficial. You can watch Jax Blade's video on Neto's training with that workout. I think it's a with that workout. It's really good training, but if you keep your feet moving, you can be agile and nimble, so that you can, duck and dodge. You can back out of the way. You can move side to side, and it just keeps your heart rate elevated. It keeps your whole body active, because as I said before, when boxing, you want to keep your entire body active. It's a very important part of the sport. So that's just been a few of my tips when it comes to shadow boxing, and it's things that I really hope that you can implement into your own training as well, because it is so much fun. Shadow boxing is, and it's one of the few ways of cardio, besides being on a treadmill, where you get to watch anime or anything else that you want to do, YouTube videos, what have you. You get to watch that while exercising. And I always think that's a big positive, when you can find something else that you love to do with something that you might not like to do as much, and combine them, especially if it's helping you get healthier and more fit, and just in general reaching the goals that you want to reach faster.
まさかあいつが？先輩